Всем привет! Welcome back to my channel. And by the way, с Новым годом! It's a new year, and I thought maybe it's time for a fresh approach to learning Russian. If you weren't completely satisfied with your results last year, this video might be useful for you. Today we are diving into a topic very close to my teacher's heart. What makes some language learners successful? I've been teaching since 2016 and have worked with many people who have different goals and approaches to learning the language. What I've noticed might surprise you. Mindset and habits play a significant role in language learning. The first thing that sets successful learners apart is their ability to set clear, meaningful goals. And no, goals such as I want to speak Russian are not clear at all. Successful learners dig deeper. Let me tell you about one of my students. So she came to me with a pretty common goal. Like, I want to start talking to my in-laws in Russian. Cool. When I offered to explore that goal a bit more, she didn't shy away, like many learners do. Instead, she said, well, I've never done anything like that before, but let's try. So we broke her goal down into smaller steps and chose the most relevant topics to focus on. At one point, she said, it would be amazing to have, let's say, a 30-minute conversation in Russian in maybe like 3 months. But of course, it's just a dream. And guess what? After 2 weeks of lessons, she was even more motivated than before. And she would say things like, oh, this is so exciting. I understand why I'm doing this. And I can see how every task and every text is getting me closer to my goal. And you know what? After a month and a half, she had her first 1-hour conversation fully in Russian. The moral of the story? Well, take 20-30 minutes to set a clear goal. Then break it down and figure out what's the most effective for reaching it. This one step can save you months of wasted effort. By the way, I have a short video on setting goals. You can find it here. Now let's talk about consistency. If you're imagining successful learners spending 5 hours a day memorizing vocabulary, stop right there. It's not always about quantity. It's more about regular contact with the language. After all, I've seen so many students spending hours and hours doing things without making any significant improvement. Think of it like, maybe it's a stupid example, but brushing your teeth. Like you wouldn't skip brushing for a week and then brush for 2 hours straight on Sunday, right? So same goes for language learning. Successful learners find ways to integrate the language into their daily life, like listening to a podcast during a walk or reading a short article before bed. These are very simple examples, and these are very small actions that add up, but only if they are meaningful. You know what I mean? So don't forget to revise your learning activities from time to time. Are they all useful, or are you just doing them out of habit, even though they no longer bring joy or improvement? Here's another big one. Probably you won't like it, but I will tell anyway. Please take responsibility for your progress. I can't tell you how many times I've heard something like, oh, I don't know. You're the teacher. You tell me what to do. Spoiler, no, I don't. I don't know what's in your mind until you tell me, And you know what? If someone tells you they know what you need or like how you should learn without discussing it with you first, in my opinion, it's way too arrogant. There is one more thing I want to tell you, and it's very important because many adult learners forget, but you are not little kids in school anymore. So if you take classes with a tutor, let's say, you are equal partners. It means, please bring your ideas, your doubts, your thoughts to class. Discuss it openly with your teacher. You can't imagine how helpful it is. And the last one, successful learners aren't afraid to experiment. They try different methods, figure out what works best for them, and stick to it. Not every strategy will click with you, and it's perfectly fine. Maybe you hate flashcards, but you like apps, or you can't stand traditional textbooks, but you love TV shows or playing computer games, or vice versa. It's perfectly fine. The point is to keep testing and refining your approach. And yes, sometimes it means stepping out of your comfort zone, like trying to speak with native speakers when you're nervous, or trying a challenging text instead of sticking to easy ones. So the 4 things that will help you to learn Russian faster: set clear goals, prioritize consistency over intensity, take responsibility for your learning, and experiment and adapt. If any of these points resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And by the way, my Patreon members will receive a Russian version of this video with translations of difficult words and small tasks to practice. Join us to get these and other cool materials for practicing Russian. The link is in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Пока!